Real life. Real stories. Let's see what's trending in Indianapolis. This is Paul Poteet on The Edge.
Well, we're back with Paul, and I got to say, Paul, I think we're going to redo that intro because it really doesn't demonstrate how much on the edge Paul is. And I mean, we've experienced this before, but literally right before we went on camera, right, we saw a different side of you, didn't we?
Oh, well, yeah, people think, I've seen you on TV, maybe, since the 80s, and they think they know me. And then all of a sudden, you get that Halloween kind of, red rum.
Wow.
Somehow my scary voice suddenly became Dino on the Flintstones.
Oh my Lord! Okay, so
what is happening though?
This is the Halloween edition of Paul Poteet here.
If I only had Sammy Terry's old prop coffin that we used to have in the 80s at Channel 4 in the corner of the studio, I could have really scared you.
Where'd that go?
Well, actually, his son, who occasionally still does the character of Bob Carter's son, who occasionally still does the Sammy Terry character, actually has it in a room of his house.
Very cool. Very cool.
Just, when guests come over and want to sleep over.
Why not?
This is the only one we still have open.
Here's the spare bed.
Yeah, do you mind taking the coffin for the night?
I think we need to go over there in the middle of the night and grab that thing, man.
Now that would be living on the edge. I wouldn't even I'm not sure that I would get in that for a night's sleep. Would you?
Oh, heck yeah. Cemetery's coffin. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, maybe, touch it for good luck and whatever and for nostalgia. But Brittany, are you ready to climb into that thing for a good night's sleep?
I would for money.
Well played.
Well, thank you for boiling down showbiz for all of us watching watching the presentation today. Well, that's the scary segment. Now, the edgy part of the segment. Are you ready for some wacky stories that we found? This is it starts out as an ordinary story. This is a Syracuse, New York garbage truck driver, and he's pulling up to some like dumpsters in front of a gas station. I guess he's going to do what garbage truck drivers do.
Yeah, do his thing.
He has to go to the restroom, so he's going to use the gas station.
He's got to dump his own garbage.
Sir.
Exactly.
Poop jokes.
All kinds of dump truck stuff going on here.
Okay.
So he gets out to use the bathroom. Truck, unfortunately, rolls away. Truck crosses the street. Why did the truck cross the street? Because nothing was stopping it.
Oh, man.
Until a brick building stopped it that had a business inside.
Yeah.
Would you like to know the name of the business that got hit by a garbage truck?
Tell me.
A Beautiful Mess.
Oh, my Lord. Okay.
It's an art, gift, and oddities shop. And what's more odd than having a garbage truck, planted in your...
Actually, you almost want to keep it there because it's an oddity.
And that's good branding. People see a beautiful mess and then they see a beautiful mess.
It's art in its own, right?
It's performance art.
It's an art installation, really, is what that is, for
sure. Jerry Flack had just opened the store in June of this year. Said it was a dream of mine come true, what I've been living for and hoping for my whole life.
Wow.
Well, it's closed for the moment, but it says in the story she's working to contact the rubbish removal company for damages, which I'm sure, I guess there were witnesses to the whole thing. So I'm sure the beautiful mess will now be in a courtroom
yeah, you better believe it.
Yeah, amongst a couple of insurance companies and attorneys. But
did the truck company say anything, or are they...
No, I don't think there's no comment, as you might imagine.
No.
At this point. So I don't know if it's a I'm sure they'll try to figure out if it was a mechanical thing or he didn't set the parking brake or whatever.
That's what I'm thinking.
Be careful what you name your business, okay? Yours is well named. Edge of Indy is the name of our show.
Thank you.
We live up to our branding, and it's not usually a mess.
Usually. What was that look?
Just a look.
I'm
It wasn't my
saying.
evil look. Did I turn red on you? No, it was just a look. Here's a story. Now, we all know, speaking of branding, the Goodwill people have done a great job in central Indiana with those commercials with a friendly, Goodwill guy.
Yep.
Salvation Army has their thrift shops too. Well, this is a Salvation Army thrift shop in New Hampshire that received an urn,
No.
not an empty one.
No.
Oh, gross.
Apparently filled with cremated remains. The name is on the urn, and the store is holding on to it because they're trying to get it back to the deceased relatives. My question is, what if they were the ones
Who gave
who
it away?
dropped off the urn?
Oh my Lord.
Now, you might
return to
wonder-
sender.
Yeah. Well, I can't remember if we talked about this or if I talked about it on the radio some other place, but like recently in the last few years, it's 50-50 now. People being buried versus at least around here being cremated in Indiana. So this could come up, I suppose, more and more. Police say that the urn and the ashes are considered private property, and whoever owns them can do whatever they want to with them.
Oh my gosh.
So if you think, you better know your relatives before you make those arrangements, because they could get the Bissell out a week after you're gone and just spread you on the living room carpet like that.
Little dark there, little dark.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a crime. They also said it's not a crime to donate an urn and ashes, but they called it, quote, odd, the police, and a bit of an understatement there. So
It's an oddity. Should it go in the store? The beautiful mess. Ding.
Wow.
Nice callback.
Thank you.
Good
I'm
linkage there.
I'm here.
You're here? Okay.
I'm here.
Wow.
Good linkage
That was like
between
super
items.
slow-mo, though. That means kind of like you kind of walked us with a canter.
Pacific Central or Pacific Standard.
She
Time.
just kind of pounced there. She waited.
Yep,
She had that
yep.
good, tie it all together moment, and then she just jumped in with it. That's good. I admire that.
I think she moseyed into
It was
that one.
strategic.
She sauntered. She's, really what you did was sashay right into it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Somewhere in the office here, I have a book of thesaurus. So
we gotta play a game now. How many times can we actually have sachet referenced on the edge?
I'll make a mental note.
All
now
right,
I'm
what
going
you
to
got?
sashay to story number 3.
See, that's 2. All right, thanks.
This is has to do with the delivery from Amazon. How often do you use Amazon? I mean, we use it all the time, right?
Yep.
Plenty. Don't tell my husband.
Oh, let's just sit back and explore that for a moment now. Let's sashay over to your credit
quit.
card receipts.
Sashay out of my home.
She never gets anything delivered here at all.
Have you ever ordered marijuana from Amazon?
I have not.
Have you now, or have you ever been a member of the marijuana club?
I have not.
Well, there is a couple, and oddly enough, it's a couple out of Florida.
Oh, geez. Florida, come now.
Who got a shock when opening a package from Amazon in the mail and found not only did it contain the storage totes that they ordered, there was also some marijuana stored. They didn't just get the 27-gallon storage totes. They got 65 pounds of weed.
Holy crap.
They said they knew something didn't feel right when it arrived.
When it was 65 pounds.
Well, it said, they said it was extremely heavy, heavier than you would think from ordering 4 empty bins. And so now they opened the box. They said they were hit with a strong odor.
Wow.
And because fish wasn't in concert nearby, they immediately were suspicious. And under layers of packaging, they found 65 pounds of marijuana. They called the Orlando cops right away, which I suppose would be a good thing to do. The officer got there and was in disbelief. Police took the drugs, launched an investigation. They were afraid that their home would be broken into. And so she said they didn't sleep for a few days, and then they went back and forth with Amazon. And then it says they finally got an email with a $150 gift card and the message, "I am unable to do anything else at this time." So I don't know what that means from Amazon. But...
All I got to say, dude, that's a prime tote.
No, you want Amazon Prime, not Amazon Primo.
Oh, Oh, boys.
It's only one letter, but it makes a huge difference. Makes a huge difference in what you're going to be getting.
Oh my gosh.
From Amazon.
Wow. Oh my Lord.
I have nothing.
I'm trying to find it on Amazon right now. I just can't find that particular product. We'll have it delivered here, but I just can't find it.
Just go ahead and leave it at the door. And I was just reading a little bit ago. They have some new, I don't know if it was this country or in certain parts of the country, where they want to have some service where is it Amazon is going to
the key? Yeah, the key.
Get out of my home.
Yeah, literally Amazon delivery. If you get an Amazon key, you'll allow them to drop it off in your house.
Yeah, just leave the heroin in the crawl space. I mean, you can see that there are some occasional hiccups in the delivery ecosystem, and so to have them just carte blanche into your house. I have family members. My sons sometimes I didn't want to have a key when they were teenagers, but much less Amazon. So
wow.
Anyway, those are some of the stories that we found in the scary world on the edge.
That is beautiful.
He had to work his way into that one.
Wow. That is
I will have nightmares tonight.
All right. So how's our Halloween look?
With that's right. We got to do the weather part of this.
You are committing to the role, man. You are committing to the role.
Yeah, I was so busy being Sammy Terry, I forgot to be Paul. Scary weather. It is certainly going to feel much more Halloween-like, much more fall-like around here. We've had part one of that with a big cold front on Monday coming through, and since then, it's just been cool, and it will stay that way. It looks like no more. It was almost 80 degrees last Sunday. No more of that in our 7-day forecast. There could be an isolated shower around, even as we live stream this Wednesday afternoon. Tomorrow is probably the nicest day of the week, like upper 50s, sunshine, and then some showers Friday afternoon, maybe into Saturday morning, with another system that puts us right back into the 40s again Saturday and Sunday. And if you look real close, those are little snowflake.
No.
There it
on
is.
The Sunday afternoon icon there. We could have a few rain or snow showers flowing around, and no accumulation, no school announcements. And then we bounce back next week, but it's still just in the 50s at best. So now we're below normal. We've been averaging above normal since about the start of September. So we're about to pay big time here. Looks like November chilly. Overall could be pretty cold.
Now, Brittany, I mean, this is boot weather, right?
It is, but dang.
But you don't want to see the snow.
No.
Well, you'll just see it flying. I mean, you'll have to look real close to see it if we see it on Sunday. Oh. It's the stuff that isn't hard to see or is hard to miss. That's the kind of snow that I don't like.
Yeah.
Once you see it piling up, like drifting next to your window, that's the kind of snow that's the worst.
Nope. Check please on that one.
Can you predict any accumulation yet or no?
No,
and if you
I can predict that we won't have any accumulation on Sunday, but
no, okay.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
I'll call Chris and see how many snows he's got going for the season and pass that on to you in our next segment.
We would greatly appreciate it.
But no, there's a little hints of fall, but nothing that scary.
No, last weekend was beautiful. It was like the perfect.
Oh my gosh, yeah! And you knew there were so many people when I was out. You could just feel everyone wanting to, just absorb everything before, because you just had that feeling that
the clock's
this is
ticking.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not going to have any bounce back to those temperatures here in the future.
It didn't look like we get back. We usually have our little Indian summer where once we've officially had a killing, freeze, and then it's been in the upper 20s, whatever. I think it's 70 degrees. Where you get that where that's officially entered into. Hopefully we'll get that. We usually squeeze out some kind of a day in November, where it gets back up to around 70. Boy, I hope so.
Far and few between. Well, thank you so much, Paul, and we certainly want to make sure.
And God bless you, Brittany.
Thank you. You as well, Paul. I'm allergic to what you just told me, I'm afraid.
I don't blame you at all. Yeah.
So if you want to see, for our listeners and watchers, if you want to see Paul in his native element, not in the red Paul,
Not to be confused with the Red Bull.
Exactly.
I am at paulpoteet.com. paulpoteet.com.
Wow. And with that, we'll say adieu.
Scene.